the same question I started last week with, Jake. It's now Wednesday. You've seen these guys work out for a couple days. Are they staying focused on Delaware? Are you seeing what you want to see in practice?
Yeah, I think that's the challenge. We just talked about a little bit the mental battle, right? And what I mean by the mental battle, it's the focus, right? Make sure what grabs your attention this time of year is the stuff that drives real performance. You know, I saw it was a really physical Tuesday. We went half shells, half spiders today. It's just that time of year. It's nothing about the opponent. Right? What I loved yesterday's sports science, on average from our Tuesday's practices, was exactly where it needed to be. Okay, our speeds are nice. Okay, and that's exactly where we want to be this time of year. But what I told them, I thought we physically dominated the game last week. That was last week. Okay, you got to earn it as you go through it. And if you ever want a great rant, listen to Coach Leach's last week's speech after one of his seasons. So I think so far so good. Like where the mental's at, and once again we're playing for the 30 seniors.
The natural cadence of the football season sometimes lends itself to, you start off with all these goals for your team, right? Yeah. And as you go through the season, some teams have some of those goals eliminated.
Yeah.
And as that happens, sometimes some guys check out.
They fall out. Yeah.
Now, as your season's gone on, you're now 7-3. Yeah. There's not more goals that's been added, but there are some folks that are seeing, wow, this is kind of working. Are you having some guys who are maybe checking in late or maybe flashing late because just the light turns on different for different folks?
It's a great question, because we talk about the 10-80-10 a lot, just how your team's comprised, the top 10% that believe in everything, the 80% that can be swayed, and the bottom 10 that can be like anchors at times. Unfortunately in the new college football, those anchors start to really fall out and can bring your team down.
Well, you start thinking about the transfer portal. What's up in the spring?
Because what is a normal college, season anymore, right? We got another new stimulus with the portal being moved in December, and I've been through that. You got to have elite focus. You got to have elite purpose. You got to know why you're doing it for this team in this moment, and it's one day at a time. We don't really talk about goals, right? So when we talk about 1-0, I think that never fades. Right? Whether you're winning, whether you're losing, you stay on 1-0 every week, and the preparation process, that is built in the dark. Okay? We have a graphic that shows 1-0 that has a trophy and the Big Four and the roll the quad thing in it. It just means if you stay to the process, big things can happen. But we don't necessarily say, hey, here's our team goals: national championship, ACC championship, defending home turf. Just 1-0 every week. That's the standard, that's the mentality, and that's the approach that we take.
The Delaware quarterback, I know the time for you reviewing tape is long past, but what did you see about him, and how's your team responding to the way they need to attack him defensively?
He was the backup going into the season. So who the heck is the starter? Yeah. Right, this guy's throwing for 3,000 yards in 9 games.
That's a lot of yards.
Phenomenal feel. Here's what I say. The quarterbacks I love, snap throwers. He's a snap thrower. Okay? A quick release, can make all the plays, RPOs, all that type of stuff. A great 2-ball thrower and a location specialist. And then his receivers, I'm telling you, it's not 50-50 balls, it's 70-30 throughout the year. It's been incredible the amount of plays that they've made, the amount of PIs that they draw. Right? They will take the ball downfield. They'll be unapologetic about it. They know 40 yards down the field, I don't care if you're zone or man, it's a one-on-one, and he trusts this guy to go make plays. Doesn't put the ball in harm's way. Down in the red zone, he turns into a running threat. Got a lot of respect for how this kid competes and what they do. And once again, schematically, it's very challenging. We haven't seen kind of a throw-it team probably since NC State, okay? And then we didn't finish that one the way we wanted to. So, you want to smoke out this type of team and get after a quarterback, it's got to start up front, and those guys got to play really well.
You talk about the receivers making those 70-30 plays.
Yeah.
Is it because of their size, their skill, their routes, or just the quarterback's that good at getting the ball in the right spot?
Spots are great, but I think it's a competitive nature. I think anytime you go up there and you make that many consistent plays and that mmany guys, it's coaching, it's passion, and it's going out there in a competitive environment and trusting that you can go do it. So they've obviously proven that through practice. So, it's been really impressive the way these guys have went out there and kind of handled this offense, and what they're doing on a weekly basis has been really, really impressive.
Does your secondary kind of take that as a little bit of a challenge?
Yeah, I think you take it both as a challenge yet opportunity. I think we've been also, our greatest strength has been elite in the pass game, not giving up explosive plays. We'll need to be able to do that, but they're going to attack us and some different ways, some downfield seam, balls and some craftiness through exchanges and wheel routes and a bunch of different things. Our communication still has to stay at an elite level. So, but yeah, I think there's opportunity. That's the way we look at it. But also, you're going to get challenged. You got to stick to your technique, and you can't panic when the ball's in the air. I think our guys are elite competitors in that phase, and they got to go out there and prove it again what they're capable of doing.
Speaking of not panicking when the ball's in the air, the play Nick Anderson made in the corner of the end zone Saturday, I asked him after the game, I said, have you got markedly faster? Because I don't know that he makes that play in previous years.
No, he's still 4.75, but his play speed is off the charts. And, it was a heck of a throw to get that one in the rail off of an exchange. One of the top 5 plays, this season, and the awareness not to go for the ball and just shove them out of bounds, right? So everything's happening in split seconds. His play speed is elite. His instincts are elite. His finishability is elite. He's not getting enough credit for what he's doing this season, and we'll worry about that after the whole story's complete. But I don't know how many safeties in the country that are playing better than him.
Yeah, he got my vote for ACC Defensive Back of the Week.
I appreciate that.
To kind of circle back as you get your team both physically and mentally prepared for Saturday against Delaware at noon, do you find it helpful that, one, it is kind of a unique challenge in terms of what they bring on both sides of the ball? You also, it's senior night, right?
Yeah.
And also your team is 7-3, and they still have the capability of having a pretty darn special season. Not that it hasn't been so far.
Yep. Well, I just think it's like, so as a coach, you got a decision to make. Do you tell them about all those things? Do you emphasize all those things? Do you talk about all the things? Do you talk about what you can control on the grass, right? So as far as like senior night, never getting too high, too low, but understanding the moment and the gravity of that, understanding that those guys got to drive the action, which I think those seniors have done this week, but understanding it's process and it's standard, right? Nameless, faceless opponents. Do you really believe that? Do you believe it's about them and it's about your competitive attitude and spirit and how you approach every day? Like, that is what Built in the Dark is, again. Like, that's the foundation of it. So shame on us if we think, well, we can just show up and assume that we're going to win a football game, right? Or that the motions of the seniors are just going to help us win the game. Like, we got to execute against a good team that wants to come in here and ruin all those things you just talked about. So, that's our focus. And but it's always a unique challenge because those things you mentioned are real. And they start to creep in. We just got to stay true to who we are, and our guys have been elite at that this year.
The last thing I've got for you, unless I'm missing something, Jake, is it seems like yesterday added some good news for the ACC, but also potentially some scary news with the addition of James Franklin at Virginia Tech. Any thoughts on that hire?
Haven't thought about it. I will say this.
Shocking.
I said it last week, I believe, when someone asked me about Coach Belichick, is that, there's an elite level of coaching in this league. I talked about 3 NFL coaches, national championship coaches. Obviously, Coach Franklin fits that bill of a great pedigree. And I think the future of college football is in that room, right? So I'm just honored to be a part of it. Like I said, I'm just a small town kid from Wisconsin. So obviously the recruiting challenges in this league, you can add whoever you want. It's real. We're on top of each other. We're going for the same dense population of kids. That's unique to me. Anything that can elevate the ACC, I'm all for it. All right. Go Deeks.
Thanks, Wes.
Once again.